So the needs that the liver has at stage 2 is antioxidants. This metabolite is very toxic and has the ability to damage us, whereas the antioxidants, their nickname is free radical scavengers. They mop them all up. This is why when you fast today, you must have juices. When phase 2 is happening, which is day 2, we supply 3 protein drinks. So that's 8 o'clock in the morning and 12 o'clock and 4 o'clock in the afternoon. On our detox days, we give 5 juices, 8, 10, 2.
When fasting, toxins are released in waves, which can make you feel sick if your liver isn't fully supported. Barbara O'Neill explains that this discomfort is often due to a common mistake, not helping the liver detoxify properly. In this video, she breaks down each phase of liver detox, detailing what happens at every step and sharing practical tips on how to support liver function for a complete, safe cleanse. Watch through to understand how to fast without feeling unwell.
In every single body, the energies are going to a different area. It all depends on the greatest need. But before rest and rejuvenation can happen, the first thing the body has to do is clean house. And we have 4 organs of elimination we looked at earlier in this series of lectures. We've got our skin, which throws off waste. We've got our urine that's throwing off waste, we've got our lungs that are also throwing off waste, and we've got our colon, which is eliminating the largest pieces of waste. So all the waste is coming out of the body, but there are some areas of waste that are fairly toxic. And the liver, being the project manager, the liver is the one that detoxifies us, or basically is in charge of the detoxification process. And your liver detoxifies you in 3 ways. So number 1 requirement is to stop eating. And when you stop eating, the fat stores start to get broken down to give the necessary glucose for your cells to run. But all through our life, when we're confronted with or take in by mouth, by skin, environmental poisons, they always go to the liver. The liver's the project manager. And sometimes these environmental poisons come to the liver and the liver says, this is a nasty, nasty guy. Wrap him up in fat and store him. So in our fat cells, we've got these environmental poisons stored up. And then the person comes to the health retreat and they stop eating, and the fat stores are getting broken down to give the glucose that our cells need to run on, and something else a little bit more sinister is being released. It's the fat-soluble toxins. And these fat-soluble toxins that have been building up in our fat cells all our life. And what the liver does, it must break that down to a water-soluble state. That's the only way that it can be released out of the body, is as a water-soluble state. And so the liver does this in 3 stages. Let me show you. Phase 1. Phase 1 of the liver detox is where the liver takes this fat-soluble toxin. I've made a little symbol to make it a little easier, and it breaks it down to a metabolite. Metabolite simply means the first stage of metabolism or the first stage of breakdown. And this metabolite is more toxic than it originally was. It creates a lot of free radicals. This metabolite is highly volatile. And this metabolite creates a lot of free radicals, and free radicals are damaging to the tissues. And you might make the comment, what's the liver doing? It's just created something worse than it originally was. It's a process. It's like when we clean up the garage. Halfway through cleaning up the garage, it looks 100 times worse than when we started because we're pulling everything out. Basically, that's what's happening. Now, within 36 hours of going on a fast, phase 2 kicks in. And in phase 2, the liver takes this highly toxic, highly volatile metabolite and joins it together with amino acids. The union of this highly toxic, highly volatile metabolite with the amino acids. It basically joins it together like this. It locks the highly volatile metabolite with amino acids. That creates the water-soluble state. And in a water-soluble state, it can be easily released out of the body. So the symbol for the water-soluble state is a wave in a box. Phase 3 happens in conjunction with phase 2. And phase 3 is where the liver takes this water-soluble state and basically releases it out via your sweat glands, releases it out via your urine, releases it out via your colon. You see, it is now a water-soluble state and it can be easily released out. This is what science is showing now happens when people fast. Now, your liver has certain needs at these stages. So the needs that the liver has at stage 2 is antioxidants. You see, this metabolite is very toxic and has the ability to damage us. Well, that's what the free radicals do. Whereas the antioxidants, their nickname is free radical scavengers. They mop them all up. So the most potent antioxidants are beta-carotenes. This is why when you fast today, you must have juices. And the most potent beta-carotenes is found in your orange-coloured vegetables and your green-coloured vegetables. So at our health retreats, we give mostly carrot, celery and apple juices. That's 80% carrot, 10% celery, 10% apple. And our celery is dark green because it's come out of my garden. So that carrot, celery and apple juice, very high in beta-carotenes to mop up or to help mop up these nasty metabolites while the amino acids come in and join with them to make this safe water-soluble state. Another antioxidant is vitamin C. Vitamin C is not ascorbic acid. Ascorbic acid is only part of vitamin C. Ascorbic acid is like the envelope that's holding all the other nutrients that makes up vitamin C. Have you ever got an envelope in the mail and opened it and it's empty? That's ascorbic acid. You might have heard of Dr. Linnaeus Pauling. He got two Nobel Prizes for his work on vitamin C. It was not on ascorbic acid, it was on the whole C. And the whole C is what you'll find in your fruits and your vegetables. So if you do buy a vitamin C, make sure it has ascorbic acid with bioflavonoids. The bioflavonoids come with the ascorbic acid to make the whole C. Another potent antioxidant is vitamin E. Vitamin E is a fat-soluble vitamin, so you'll find vitamin E in nuts, seeds, grains, legumes. What's also required at phase 2 is minerals. And minerals are found in that little bit of Celtic salt before every glass of water. Using organically grown fruits and vegetables for the juices is providing the minerals. And with our guests, we give a steam bath every afternoon. At 6 o'clock, they have broth. And broth is a lot of vegetables cooked in a lot of waters for many hours and then strained. So all the minerals out of the vegetables have gone into the water. We even put stinging nettle in our broth. Then it's strained out. The good news is you don't have to eat it. You just get the minerals outed in the water. And then we put some Celtic salt in. So we give our guests every evening a broth, which is very high in minerals. Also vitamin B. Vitamin B is required. On our detox program, we always give our guests a vitamin B supplement 3 times a day. What we aim to do is nutritionally support every cell in the body. We aim to nutritionally support the liver to be able to effectively detoxify you, to be able to mop up these nasty metabolites and get them out of your body. Well, what's the needs in phase 3? Because amino acids are required. This is phase 1. Now we're looking at the needs of phase 2. So the needs of phase 2 are protein. Protein is required to supply the amino acids to mop up the nasty metabolites. So when we are running a detox program at our health retreats, we always serve a protein powder, especially day 2, because notice what I said, within 36 hours, phase 2 is kicking in. So definitely by the second day, protein is needed. We use a pea protein, and it's a pre-digested protein, so it's very easily digested. In fact, probably again in about 10 minutes, the digestion of the protein drink has been done. So on phase 2, when phase 2 is happening, which is day 2 of a fast, we supply 3 protein drinks. So that's 8 o'clock in the morning and 12 o'clock and 4 o'clock in the afternoon. On our detox days, we give 5 juices, 8, 10, 12, 2 and 4. And so on the second day, it's every second juice gets the protein, and all other juices we serve a green barley, which is very high in the beta-carotenes. What does phase 3 need? Phase 3 needs fats. What fats do is they keep the cell nice and supple and allow the process to happen. And so in our protein drinks, we give a little bit of coconut cream. We also put a bit of almond milk in. So the combination of almond milk, coconut cream and the protein powder, that makes up the protein powder that we give to cope with phase 2 of the liver detox. This information has only been known since 2002. But as you can see by my illustration this morning, it's important information. We are dealing with more fat-soluble toxins than any generation that's ever lived on planet Earth. The Bible talks about Jesus fasting for 40 days. It was actually a miracle because he didn't drink water for 40 days, and we would not survive that. But all through history, there's stories of people fasting, sometimes for long periods of time, to be able to overcome certain illnesses. But in 2016, going into 2017, we need to be mindful of the 3 phases of the liver detox. So when you choose to fast, and fasting is an excellent way to give the stomach a rest, the gastrointestinal organs a rest, but it is also a God-designed way to free the system from built-up fat-soluble toxins that are coming into our body all through our life. But all the fasting experts agree today that you are far better to do 2 days of fasting a week or 2 days of fasting a fortnight rather than a long fast. Because if you do a long fast, too many fat-soluble toxins are released, and that will create too many metabolites, and it can make a person quite sick. You see, if all the environmental toxins were to come out of our body right now, we'd basically all be dead. Little by little, the body lets them go. We do 2 days of juicing at our health retreat for a 1-week program. Sometimes people come for 2 weeks and they will do a 2-day fast on the second week as well. And sometimes we see people go down on the second fast. You see, the first fast, it's going so deep. Second fast, going a little bit deeper. So when a person does start to get sick, we'll often give them a little extra protein. You can see why, because the amino acids are mopping up those nasty metabolites. Someone can get quite sick if they do a water fast, because if they do a water fast, there is nothing to mop up these toxic metabolites, and then there is nothing to join them together to create the water-soluble state that can be easily released out of the body. I was fascinated to read in Florence Nightingale's book that when she found a very sick patient, almost death's door, they responded to 2 things: beef tea and raw milk. Now, what do beef tea and raw milk both contain? Protein. As I say to our guests, we're not going to give you beef tea and raw milk. They're not very safe today. And we have something superior to that, which is the plant protein. If someone comes and does our health program and does a couple of days on fasting, and they're a Vietnam veteran, or they're a farmer that's had a lot of exposure to chemicals, or maybe a cleaner, we've had some very sick cleaners using chemicals to clean, hairdressers, these are all people that have had a lot of exposure to chemicals. I will often put them on a protein drink every juice, so that's 5 times a day, because I know that what's going to be coming out of them is pretty toxic. And the metabolites can make them quite sick. This also explains why Dr. Atkins was having results. You see, you can't deny this guy was #1. His book was #1 on the New York Times best-selling list 4 years running. Most people don't realize his patients had to eat 3 cups of vegetables a day and 1 cup had to be greens. So they were getting a lot of beta-carotenes. They were also getting the protein that is necessary. And as a friend of mine who'd been a patient of Atkins, he said, you know, I believe if Atkins would have read the China study, Dr. Atkins would have become a vegetarian. That's quite a statement, isn't it? Because the China study has shown us very clearly the dangers of the animal protein. So only since 2002 has this information been known about the 3-phase of the liver detox. And as you can see, it is vital information, because if you do go on a fast to bring about healing in the body, it's very important that you nutritionally support your liver, that you nutritionally support every cell in your body so that you can effectively detox, because we don't want you to be sicker when you've finished than when you began. It also explains why some people get very sick on the detox. I have known some people to go on a 10-day fast and not get very sick. But you know, I investigated the case and I found out that these people were about 350 pounds. They had not had exposure to chemicals through their life. So maybe what they were releasing from their fat stores weren't as toxic as maybe someone else. So this is one of the remarkable things that science is now showing us as to the reason why people are recovering from serious illnesses when they go through a fast. Because a fast could be called a detox, it could be called a cleanse, because as the fat stores get broken up, they are releasing the environmental poisons.
Thank you for watching. Now, you have a clear path to support your liver effectively while fasting and can avoid feeling sick during detox. Remember, it's all about working with your body's natural process. If you're ready to dive deeper into natural health and healing, check this video to fully understand your liver functions.